Well, hello and welcome to SLC Aquatics, hashtag Fish Fam Mom, and this is the Fish Room. Hang out in the Fish Room with me tonight. I wanted to welcome everyone that came in early. I got started about 10 minutes early and ate a little yogurt snack, and just wanted to say hi again to everyone that's been coming in and sharing the stream out to other social media contact. And I just am glad to be back in the fish room with you guys today. It's been a long time, it seems, and I wanted to, looks like my mic is overmodulating. I may have to move it down. Testing 1 2 1 2, check. All right, no little overmodulation there. Just wanted to make sure I was speaking well enough for everybody to hear me. Hope you're seeing me fine. I see there's shadows because of the way I'm sitting under the light. So maybe I can back it up a little bit. Back it up, Susan. And don't know if that helped any or not. I don't have any of my lights, so... Oh, how's everybody been doing this Tuesday? Again, I want to say hi to Char. I want to say hi to Angie and Reels Tank and Flynn. And I want to say hi again to Brandon at Mr. Beast Fishing Things. And I want to say hi to House of Buckets. That's Angie. And 4G Budget Fish Keeping. And Vinoski's in the house. Hi, Vinosky and Dan Slee. I'm just glad to have everybody with us, and I'm sure there's some lurking that haven't commented, but I wanted to welcome you all again. I've done some changes to my portfolios. I've been very busy at work. I want to say I put about 35 to 40 hours in 3 days. And I actually had to come home early from work today because I wasn't feeling well, and I just passed out and fell asleep. So I'm sure y'all understand that. Hey, Bob at Kaler's Aquatics is present. Oh, thank you guys so much. And I've been trying to watch a few videos here and there. Hey, Victor. Hey, V-Stay. I'm glad you're here, and I'm sad for some announcements that I'm going to be making tonight. So get your tissue out. Just kidding. I have some great news, and I'm looking forward to the September Fish Fam newsletter that is sponsored by slcaquatics.org. And there is information in the description below if you have any questions. My email is on the screen, score48@yahoo.com. I ask you to send short articles. I've been receiving a couple long articles, which I'm going to have to condense in order to put them in the email. And I will be speaking to the persons who sent them to me and let them know that I didn't want to do the article any injustice by cutting anything out, but because of this is the first newsletter, I may save one of the articles for a second print. Dan, thank you so much. I am feeling better after I slept for about 3 hours. I woke up this morning with vertigo, and I fought it off and went on to work, and I got prayer, and after prayer I felt better, and then I just could not hold my eyes open, and I was so tired. I just slipped out and came home, laid on the couch, stretched out probably from about 11:30 to 2:30. So how many hours is that? 11, 12, 12, 1, 1, 2, 3 hours. And my husband had brought in lunch, and I ate a little bit and feel much better. Thank you so much. I came in and topped off some water in my fish room so that it wasn't so noisy. There is a little bit of air pump noise, which I probably need to clean some sponge filters out. You know, your fish room will talk to you. Listen to your fish room. The sounds of your fish room should be tranquil and quiet and soothing and retreatful. And when you've got a bunch of buzzing and clanking and splashing going on, sometimes it's just not that serene. So listen to your fish room. Usually noisy air pumps could mean that your air pump cell is drying out, or your sponge filter just needs to be cleaned because your air pump is trying so hard to pump air through a dirty, clogged up sponge. The clanging can be your propeller in your hang-on back filters that has become unseated and it's warping the plastic, so you need to get the new housing and a new rotor for your hang on the back. Did you all know that there is upkeep to your equipment? Who am I missing? RLC Aquatics is in the house. Hello. Rod is taking good care of you. Yes, Bob. He is the man. He really is. And if anybody does not have a Facebook account and you haven't seen the last little prank video that he did for me, and I recorded him. We were at the gas pump and he was cutting up on the outside of the car or the truck. And I recorded it all and I posted it on Facebook. You need to go check it out. Feel better soon, Susan. Thank you. And I hope you're feeling better, Char. Please remember to hit that like button. Char says thank you. And 4G Budget Fish Keeping, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Dan says he saw it. It was hilarious. It really was. He started to dance, but because of some issues we had on a youth retreat, we decided not to record him pop-locking or trying to pop-lock. Again, he said he pop-locks every day because of arthritis, snack, crackle, pop. But he's hilarious. There's enough people here. We've been going for almost 10 minutes now. So I just wanted to let everyone know that I regret that come October for Aquatic Experience, I will not be able to participate. And I really regret it because I hear that this may be the last year that they're having it. So I'm going to look for closer conventions and closer fish club meetings to try to participate. Bob, I'd like to connect with you and in your area, and I think Fancy Tail Aquatic Scott might be getting ready for his trip to Florida because I don't see him yet, but he's in Kentucky, so I'd like to get with a few of those people and maybe a few in southern Alabama to the top panhandle of Florida. We got Mark Pleco Whisper in here. We've got Patricia Clopel in here. Hello, Patricia. We got Jess Shrimp Granny. Yes, Jess had volunteered to help me get to New Jersey, so I let her know first that I wasn't going to make it for the Aquatic Experience. But I still will advertise for it and everything. And I hear that the plans for Aquashella has kicked off the ground. And what's his name? Rob at Flip Aquatics has put out his promo and put out the rules and regulations for participation if you wanted to get in free. House of Buckets says, oh wow, really? Did you just change? I thought AE would be there in New Jersey for 4 more years. Well, I guess I gotta go this year. I don't know. I'm out of the loop, so don't, I'm not up to date with everything. but I did hear that it was not going to happen anymore, and I apologize if I'm putting out the wrong info. Please, somebody, check it out and research it and get back with us as quick as possible. We got Chewy LTD in the house. Hello, Chewy. How are you doing tonight? Trying to mix 3 live streams at one time is impossible. Yeah, because you're watching one and having to mute the others. I know, I've done it before, and it's not fun. Thanks, Char. Jess says, depending on attendance this year, they might cancel AE altogether. Thanks, Jess. Thanks for the update. Candy does 4 and can mod them too. House of Bucket says, I know that you don't live close to PA, but in September there is a fish convention called Keystone Clash. You should check it out. Thank you, Angie. And if you are not aware, Angie, the Fish Fam community are sending in articles and information to be entered in the first volume, first print of the Fish Fam community newsletter to be released the first part of September 2019. And if you would like to send in that information to me in an email, please email me at score48@yahoo.com. Please include any online links, and if there's any art to be used, try to get permission for me to use that art so that I can print it in the newsletter. And of course, whoever submits the article gets credit for submitting the article. And the deadline for information to be submitted to me is going to be the middle part of August, because I need to finalize the newsletter before my next revival. And my next revival starts August the 18th at the church. So I would say no later than August the 16th. I'm cutting off submissions. Anything that comes in after August the 16th that I can't get into the September newsletter will go into a later newsletter. And at this time, I don't think we're going to be able to do monthly newsletters, but maybe quarterly. And the description is in, the explanation is in the description. You go to slcaquatics.org/blog and you scroll to the bottom of that page, and it gives you a place where you can register for the newsletter. When you first go to slcaquatics.org and you do have pop-ups allowed, there is a pop-up for you to subscribe to the emails. So if you subscribe to the email and don't make it, can't find the newsletter sign up, I will transfer your email over into the newsletter if you give me permission to do so. We got Pam 54 Punchy in the house. Hello, Pam. Welcome to the live stream tonight. I was just talking about how to submit, how to sign up for the newsletter, how to submit short stories and art to the Fish Fam community newsletter that's coming out, sponsored by slcaquatics.org, which I actually set up my webpage to be a resource area for the Fish Fam community. There is a resource page of different businesses and different web links where you can reach out and support some of the other Fish Fam community members. And I have not contacted you yet, Pam, but I will be sending you an email inviting you to also participate in that resource page. Dan says you may be able to write up about the GHKH that wouldn't be too long. Thank you, Dan. Yeah, the newsletter is set up in 3 columns, And of course, the stories that make the front page columns will have links to other pages of the newsletter to finish reading about the article. And I'm quite pleased right now how it's looking. And then Sherry at Sherry and Will submitted some great little memes, fish memes. Thank you, Bob, for sharing my Patreon, but I'm no longer asking for Patreons, Bob. At the end of August, I'm not completely closing out my Patreon account, but I'm just asking all patrons at this time to remove their pledges. And you can do it at any time. You can do it now, or you can do it after it goes through in August, about the middle of August. I just felt led to close my Patreon. It will still be there, but I'm not asking for Patreon accounts anymore. I want people to actually enjoy me, enjoy my content, and there is a Streamlabs place where you can support me at Streamlabs or at my PayPal. And if you want to purchase merchandise, thank you, Bob. If you want to purchase merchandise, I have merchandise on Teespring and Zazzles. Zazzles has more products than Teespring does. I think Teespring may have 4 to 6 items, and Zazzles has, I think, about 20. And you ought to check it out because it's got some cute little gadgets, bottle opener, koozie, magnets, even has flash drives. So you can order different flash drive volumes. It's fun. Susan, can we do a how I keep my fish name here? Can we, how I keep my, not quite understanding, Jesse. Kayla wasn't paying attention. I forgot, and I'm one of them, yeah. But thanks, Bob. All right, thanks. Thanks for sharing Zazzles. Chewy asked one thing. One thing I've noticed about YouTube, Susan, is the age of viewers of some of the channels. I've been helping a 10-year-old that has his own channel that he just started. Excuse me. Oh, excuse me. Got something caught in my windpipe. Yes, Bob, that is the beauty of this Fish Fam YouTube channel thing. It originated family friendly. And even though the Fish Fam community has grown, I must bring to the attention of some of the viewers that some of the channels are not family friendly. I love them. I do view them on occasion, but sometimes I am not able to finish watching their channel or support their channel because they're not family friendly. There's foul language, there's adult drinking and adult conversation going on instead of helping with fish maintenance and fish selection, you know, without being critical here. I can't support everybody because everybody in the YouTube Fish Fam or FishTube community are not family friendly. So that was one of the things that was beautiful when Corey was actually getting a following, and we were calling ourselves the #FishFam community. Our motto is to be family friendly, and that means language and your behavior on the screen. There are times for the adults to get together, and you should make sure before you go live or before you post your content that you do select on that channel or on that content an age restriction. You really should. You should be responsible YouTube creator and do that. Jesse at Shrimp Granny wants to write an article on how I keep my betta fish. Yeah, you can submit any article, sweetheart. And the deadline is August the 15th for the September newsletter. If it comes in after that and I'm finished with the newsletter and fine-tuning it, it can go to a later newsletter. This is not going to be the only newsletter in September. It's the first one of many. So Jesse, you can submit your articles to Susan at score48@yahoo.com, and don't forget to go over to the website and register your email, either under the email submission or go to the blog page and scroll to the bottom and sign up for the newsletter. Because my mail client will not allow me to send out spam. I must have permission. Either you sign up or I must have permission to sign your email up. So, kiddos calling me. All right, 4G budget. Thank you for coming out. Peace. Love you. God bless. So that part, thank you, Bob. That part, if you have any more questions about the newsletter or submitting articles or anything, ask away. But I'm going to continue to move on. I am closing down my Patreon account at this time. If you want to support me financially, you can support me through my PayPal link that Bob is sharing, or by purchasing merchandise at Teespring or Zazzles. I'll get a small percentage of each purchase. And also you can look in the description and you can support me at streamlabs.com/Susan, I think, or something like that. Susan for SLC Aquatics. I'm not looking at that screen right now. Excuse me. So, I won't make it to Aquatic Experience, but I am looking for closer venues to actually participate in. My Patreon, the newsletter, and those that have submitted articles already, I have read them or read through them. I haven't read them all the way through because, like I said at the opening, I think I've put in 40 hours in the last 3 days, and I'm exhausted and I need to rest. Nola Jane's in the house. Hey, Nola Jane, not Nola Jane Fish Rich. Welcome to the live stream. Hey, sweetheart. So I don't know if you were listening or not and was able to catch, but I'm not going to make it to Aquatic Experience. I went over the entries and submissions of articles, pictures, stories for the upcoming September Fish Fam Community Newsletter, and go to slcaquatics.org and go to the blog page, scroll to the bottom, sign up for the newsletter, or you can sign up your email. When that pop-up screen pops up, you can sign up with your email, and if you give me permission, I will transfer it over to the newsletter. If you do not want to receive the newsletter, that's okay. Just sign up with your email. Chewy says, what is more disgusting is the experts that so-called come along and criticize the young YouTubers without having a constructive manner to help them is kind of my point too. Yes, Chewy, we are very protective over our young fish community members. We're protective over them, and if we hear of anybody bashing them, we report them. So if you see any kind of comment or anything like that, immediately report them to YouTube, because that is not acceptable behavior. And then get in there, patch up his wounds, her wounds, and encourage her to keep going on, and ignore those types of people. You have to isolate yourself from those types of people. I'm sorry, Nola Jane. Somebody's gonna have to go live in StreamYards and let me log on so people can see me and make me feel like I'm there. I'm sorry, Nola. Susan, do you attend fish club meetings in your area? I do not, because there are none that are active. The ones that are active in my area are saltwater, and I hate to say it, but in this area, they're snobs. And there is a cichlid group in my area that flat tells you that if you do not have cichlids and you do not participate in their Facebook group, don't show up. So I don't get it. We had a fish fam meet and greet in January. We had about what was it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. About 7 of us attended, and we're going to do another one. And may not get it done this year, but we're going to try again next year. You should go, Salty. That's cute, Bob. Thank you. Thank you for the suggestion. Dan says, my local club is cichlid only, but they are inclusive for most part. Yep, that's what happens. I do believe there is there's not any really organized groups in my area, and we were trying to get one going, and we're going to just casually meet from time to time and see what happens. There was talk of me doing one, but because I work full time, I can't. There's a lot of elitism, though, that bugs the heck out of me. Yep. That's what happens sometimes in these clubs. So, if you all want to see my new fish, raise your hand. Me. That is kind of a shame about your cichlid club in your area. You would think that with the diversity of people in that hobby, they would be more open to other fish. Yeah, and when one door closes, Chewy, I just look for another open door. It doesn't bother me. I just keep moving. All right. I'm getting a couple me's. We're asked as hobbyists what our dream fish is, what our dream tank is. And a lot of times, I didn't know what my dream fish were. I know Bob at Steamfod Aquatics had some fish one time that I found interesting, and I kind of wanted some like that. And then Priscilla MK came out and drew one, and then my mechanic that takes care of all of our vehicles, he has aquariums and he has bishers, and he's even kept tilapia before. And RLC still cooking, starting to cook, but listening. Okay, dear. But anyway, you know, I sold most of the stock that was in my 55, and I was asking questions, taking polls, and wondering what I was going to put in that tank. Well, 2 weeks ago, someone in one of the groups on Facebook that I participate in put his fish up for sale. And I said, oh God, I would love to have these fish. Well, I was able to get them at such a wonderful price. I know I'm making y'all go nuts. Pause the story. We have one trying to get off the ground in Chattanooga. I want to go, but it interferes with my Saturday evening volunteering at the shelter, which is more important to me. Yeah, we have to make choices and set priorities in our life. House of Bucket says, oh wow, they are snobs. You should start your own in my area. I'm helping with one. We're not snobs, but we're in PA. We're cichlids too, but we don't ban people. All right. Thank you, Bob, for sharing my Instagram. Okay, I'm getting ready to switch the camera over to my new fish. Here it comes. And it is a little overstocked at this time, but I have now become an owner of Bosemani, rainbow fish, and Denison barbs or red roseline sharks. As you see, the angelfish is getting along well. The Denison barbs keeps the substrate picked really well, and the corridors are doing better. Yes, Bob, I have Bosemani rainbows. I have more males than I do females, and like I said, my mechanic would love to have a couple of these males, so I'm going to bless him with a couple males. And if you see the really bright orange one, that is the dominant male in there. They have been spawning. Thank you, Dan. Thank you, Bob. Thank you, Patricia. Thank you, Pam. Thank you, Stan. Hi, Stan. How are you doing? Chewy says lifestyles and many other things can also affect fish clubs, small towns, not enough people, etc. And Mark says nice. Thank you. Yeah, I was so scared because he had very hard water. His KH was off the scale. My KH is on the opposite spectrum, almost acidic. I will be adding some crushed coral to this aquarium if I see them stressing. But so far, like I said, I've had them 2 weeks. No, I did not quarantine them because they came from the same aquarium, and there was no stock in this aquarium except one angelfish and 3 Corydora. So I didn't have anything large enough to quarantine them in. So I have already done a 10% water change, and I probably can get away with a 20% water change every few days. I added extra filtration, and I did raise the temperature a little bit. I think it's about 80 degrees in there, and which is a little warm for the corridors, but the corridors stay towards the bottom where it's cooler. It's about 76 at the bottom. Wonderful people. What's up? Hello, Rob93. How you doing? Looks great. Nice fish. Thank you so much. I'm excited. That plant in front of the filter intake is not a real plant. It is plastic, but man, it looks so real. I had to throw it in there. The rest of the plants in this aquarium are live plants. And I have a new, he also blessed me, the guy that I got these fish from, also blessed me with a 20-gallon long that I had to clean it up. And I hope y'all have enjoyed watching them. All right, back to my main. But I am enjoying them. I haven't been able to watch them, because of my work schedule. But I'm looking forward to this week for getting in here and doing a little aquarium maintenance. And I will also be trying to catch 2 of those males for my friend, the mechanic, who he has Bosemani fish, but I think his are mostly female. pH and KH generally affects only reproduction. If you keep cardinal tetras in too hard of water, it will calcify their eggs and can cause the balance of sexes in fish fry. Thank you so much for that information, Chewy. The fake plant does look real, Patricia says. Yes, it does. And believe me, the 40-gallon tub that I have outside with my mutt guppies, my new strain, oh my goodness, there's so many fry in there. And my baby goldfish is now almost 1.5 inches long and got some color coming in under its belly and under its caudal fin. But the rest of his body's dark gray, black. Yeah, fish, the main thing is stability when it comes to dissolved minerals. Enough KH to combat the swing in pH. Right, Dan? I know the KH is great for buffering your pH so that you don't have too many pH swings, but this was a well-established aquarium. I'm gonna buy some parts that goes with my Marine Land. I think it's a 400, and get that back on the tank with some biomedia, and because right now I think that's a Tetra 75, and I think I'm just using filter floss along with the mechanical part that's on the inside of it. My phone's been lighting up, so are y'all sending me emails? I did not do any tubbing this year, Brandon said. I know sometimes that happens. Our life changes, or things just are different. And my Halfmoon Mosaics are still being prolific. The males are still breeding true. I'm getting a snakeskin pattern show up on a lot of the males. And the Cory cats have slowed down a little bit. Henry's getting ready for bed. He's doing his thing back and forth. Yeah, it's more invertebrates where you need to pay more attention to the specific GH and KH. Yeah, I don't keep any shrimp. I did when I first got into the hobby, and I had ghost shrimp, but I kept salt also in my guppy tanks, but I don't do that since I've gone to live plants. The hornswort would tolerate some salt, but I love the moss that grows. Those is it mimosa moss ball? Yeah, the moss balls. I have moss balls in my aquarium that have grown naturally. I mean, they're just beautiful. Stray tornado was my life change. I hate that, Bob. I know that will never go away. Life has been busy, that's true. Thank you, Bob. If I missed any questions. Okay, I see Bob said something about the Bosemani. Okay, so let me scroll back up. Oddly, Bosemani is one rainbow I don't have right now in my collection. About to add some more. You know I can't say that. Melanotania Herbataxilrodi yellows, and might have to get a pair. All right. Did I get close, Bob? Everybody's saying hi. Chewy says you are lucky to have the water perimeters that you have. Sounds like good level to start at, keeping tetras, whereas where I am from, it's hard as rock. Yeah, mine pH usually is around 7, but if I let the nitrates, go too high, like above 40 ppm, I get acidic pH, about 6.5. So I don't do enough water changes for the stocking that I have, but I hopefully, when I have breaks in my schedule, sometimes they have to go 2 and 3 weeks, and then there's periods in my job that I'm able to come in here and do weekly water changes. So I try my best according to my lifestyle, and sometimes with established tanks you can get away with that, but with new tanks you can't get away with that. You'll have crashes and problems. Marimo moss, Cladophora algae. Thank you, Dan. I have it all over my Mopani driftwood, and I was wondering if I actually introduced that with some of the moss that I brought in from my creek, or maybe some off of some of the plants that I brought in. I don't know. Hey Nessa, how you doing? Love to you and Brandon. Okay, so now we've talked about closing my Patreon or putting it on hold for right now. So any pledges in there, you can remove your pledge before the 1st of August and you won't be charged. But if you wait till the middle of August, please remove your pledge. I don't want any pledges to be going through Patreon right now. It's just something, even my husband asked me why, and I'm like, I don't know why. I just feel like I don't want to put a price tag on what I'm doing anymore. If you want to support me, support me. I'd rather you be active, watching me, watching my content, participating in the newsletter articles, passing the newsletter around. I want businesses, if there's any businesses present in the chat tonight or watching the live stream, I want you to feel free to advertise a small 1/4 inch to a 1/2 page advertisement for the newsletter. My email's on the screen, score48@yahoo.com. So I call them yellows. Thanks, lady. You're welcome. Maria's in here. Hello, beautiful. Muchas gracias. Hola. Muy bonita mujer. Number 16. Thank you, Maria. Thumbs up, everybody. Also, on the community tab on my YouTube channel, I said we might be able to catch a feeding for my juvenile crayfish, but I don't see her out tonight. It was so adorable. I kept walking past her tub, and she began to crawl up on the side of the tub, and I dropped a small wafer in, and she caught it in her middle legs and then carried it off to eat it. So it looks like Mama Crayfish is buried up again. I've lost a lot of the last brood. They've died off or she's eaten them. And that's unusual. What else is going on? My American greens are reproducing slowly. So I added some crushed coral to their aquarium. The breeding tank that I have behind me, the 10-gallon right here over my shoulder. Let's see. See if I can scan around. And switch my camera around. Let's see what that looks like. Y'all give me a few minutes to adjust. All right, that 10-gallon right there has a breeding trio of my yellow tiger mosaics in there. They have 1 drop of fry that are growing out. The second young female looks like she has parasites. So I will be starting to do more water changes first. And then I have some anti-parasite flakes. Thank you, RLC. That's the 10-gallon. And then down here on the 5, I have, I'm calling him Pinky. I bought him as a female betta. But he greets me now by flaring. Oh, he's sitting still. There he goes. He's a crown tail. Bought him as a female. I knew he wasn't a female, but I bought him, and you get a discount. You don't pay as much for a female as you do a male. So, let's see. I'll switch it back to the main so that you all can see my 29. There's the 29 with the yellow tiger mosaics, you know, my mutt tank. They're not breeding true yet, getting lots of different varieties. Hablando español muy bien. Thank you, RLC. Muchas gracias, amigo. Amiga. ¿Qué es? I still have some of the original males in there that are over a year old. So I have one out in the 40-gallon tub. I have a couple juveniles out there. I have, so that's F2, F3, and F4. I have F4 going on in the tub right now, and they are all black fry. So I'm looking forward. My initials are RLC. I have an imposter. Just kidding. Just subscribe to the newsletter. Thank you. I'm going to add the link. Let me see if I can get it right, Bob. I think it's in the description. Somebody click on that and see if it takes you to the blog page. And at the bottom of the page, it says sign up for the newsletter. But I love my crypts. And this is Eco Complete substrate that has been washed and washed. I have a mother Anubias in the middle, and over behind the Asian temple is another crypt. Dustin Ritchie is in the house. Hello, Dustin, my friend from Colorado. I'm all caught up with y'all on live casting day. Hey, Dustin. Que paso, Kaylor? Awesome. How are you doing? Oh, y'all answering each other. But anyway, this is my mutt guppy tank that I took a lot of my Java moss out of there because the Java moss is intertwined with my hornswort and the duckweed. The surface of this tank is covered in duckweed, so I got to get the duckweed out of there and transfer it to the pond because the goldfish will eat them. And back to the main. What else y'all want to see? I'm going to show you the 20 with the Halfmoon Mosaic. Now this is a pure strain here that has Halfmoon Mosaic guppies in it. Has my colony of peppered Corydora. That is a behind my camera. Let me see if I can move my camera. That's a yo-yo loach down front with the Corydora mama named Henry. And CJ Black and I, she sent him to me. And she called him Henry, but we don't know if he's a Henry or a Henrietta. And I'm not sure, but he sure does enjoy swimming with the Corydoras. And he keeps my snails at bay. High fives, Kaylor. Let's see. King Lee's in the house. Hey, Twin City Guppies. How are you doing? Lots of fish in there. Nice. Thank you, Nessa. Yeah, Scott over at Fancy Tales Aquatic was ranting about the fish police. But this is a colony breeding tank, a 20-gallon high. It has 2 sponge filters and a hang on the back filter. So it has great filtration. I keep the water changed weekly on it, and except for when my work schedule doesn't allow me to. Where's Scott? Did I miss Scott? Yes, King Lee, doing well, thank you. Oh, Brandon. Thanks, Brandon. I gotta get caught up on your last videos that you've posted. Good to see you, sweetheart. Yeah, this is my Halfmoon Mosaics that I got from the fish nerd, Carlos. And man, they've been so prolific, and that's where a red mosaic got with my blue-green Moscows, and that's how I got my yellow tiger mosaic guppies that were 3 and 4 inches long, robust, thick bodies. But I know if you don't keep the water changed regularly, like every other day or something like that, and don't feed them live foods, you don't get those long bodies. And the second and third generations been giving me the short body like the Halfmoon Mosaics. But those bodies that from the Moscow gene, as you saw earlier, they are humongous guppies. Dustin said, just made a 3-way trade this morning, delivered some beautiful big goldfish, not my faves, but they were real pretty, for a bucket of H2O lilies, lettuce, and some other stuff I can't pronounce. That's great, Dustin. That is always a hookup. That's right. Yes, the link on the blog lets you sign up for the newsletter. Signed up. Thank you, Angie. Everybody's saying hi. Bienvenido, Punchy. Oh, I love it. All these folks speaking Spanish to each other. I don't know what it means, but Jeremy's Wild Studio just started a premiere if anybody wants to go over there and catch that. Quantum, hello Melvin. How are you doing? 54 Punchy Art of Fish Keeping. We got Cichlids 23 in here. Kirk, hello Cichlids 23. And you all know what we do in the Fish Fam community. We do love for love. We look at each other's channel and we show love for love. And if you don't know what that means, you can PM me and ask me. Watch content, share, and support one another, encourage one another, leave comments. And I invite you to do the same on my channels. And check out my playlist. I have probably 20 different playlists. And I even have some OBS training videos. Anybody interested in how to set up OBS, how to do a Google Hangout in OBS, how to do a green screen in OBS. I haven't done any scenes and stuff, but that's how you get different scenes on my end. And any of the latecomers that are just now coming in would like to see my new fish. This is my Bosemani fish that I was blessed with. Very good price. With some Denison barbs or rose-lined sharks. Dustin said, partly with the lady guppies you sent me. I have a great selection much now, including some pretty light blue fins and some whose bodies are super dark with almost white dots on the tails. Oh yeah, that's the Mosaic lacy, yeah, the Mosaic lacy tails that the females can get. Maple Street Brandon says, yes, Melvin, long time for sure. Glad to see you. Chewy says, finally, my other live stream ended. The price of getting guitar advice. LOL. Oh. Vanessa says, another great looking tank. Thank you so much. Cichlids 23 says, congrats again on the 1K, Susan. Thank you. Glad to see you too. Okay, people, got to split. Adios, amigos. House of Buckets. Adios, amigo. Amiga. Adios, amiga. Buenas noches. Patricia says she loves this tank. Thank you. This is the 55 that I bought from Gina Tucker Aquariums out of Georgia. She no longer is doing YouTube, but that was Auntie Gina, to those who remember Auntie Gina. She used to come and visit me. We used to do live streams together, road trips together. It was fun. I miss her. Dustin says, I'm a sucker for culls. If anyone needs to cull fishy friends, I'm up for making room for them at my casa. Let me know. Later, House of Buckets. All right, guys. Thank you so much. I look forward to working on the newsletter the next couple weeks. If you haven't signed up for the Fish Fam Community newsletter at slcaquatics.org under the blog page, the pop-up for the email sign up is just for emails, but if you give me permission, I will transfer it over to the newsletter mailing list. Thank you, Vanessa. Keep me posted with other clubs and events that are happening within the United States, mostly on the East Coast since I'm in Alabama. Kayla says, choo-choo. Choo-choo, Bob. We love you guys. Thank you so much for coming out and supporting me tonight. If you would, here's my thank you screen. And there's my new logo art that DPK Fish Aquariums did for me as a gift. And thank you for viewing. There's my website, my email, and subscribe, like, and comment. And stay fishy. Take care of yourselves. And until next time, I love you. Fish Fam Mom. Fish Fam Mom out. Bye-bye.